Well, sorry for the long wait for this review. Making gaming reviews isn't necessarily easy, or should I say they are extremely time consuming. Having to do work on top of school while trying to make YouTube videos can be pretty hard. I guess that's why I made a how-to video to kind of make a filler video, but I don't know if I'll continue those. I think I'll just focus on reviews. Anyway, I'll stop with my babbling mouth and actually get into this review, as that's what you guys are here for. So Bungie recently went through some major changes. The biggest one was the breakup with Activision. Why they signed with them in the first place is beyond me, but they knew they messed up big time and got the f out of there. Now Bungie is by themselves. They are their own developer and publisher, which is honestly a really good thing. I guess you can say Bungie controls their own destiny. As for my background with Bungie, I played their Halo games and a bit of Destiny 1 before I quit the game when it requires you to buy a $40 DLC to level up. Well, Destiny 2 is now free to play on all platforms, and on PC it came to Steam, which is really huge. A lot of new players have picked up Destiny 2, while others may be wondering if it's worth your time. Well, I'll try my best to explain and give my opinion on this game, and help you decide if Destiny 2 is worth your time and possible money. It should also be noted that I don't have a lot of memory of Destiny 1, as I haven't played it in years, and I have little to no knowledge of the previous versions of Destiny 2, so I'm going into this pretty much brand new. I'm going to start out by reviewing all of what you get in New Light, the version you get for free, and then break down Forsaken and Shadowkeep, the paid DLCs. To start out, you are given the option between 3 different classes. Titan, pretty much the equivalent of the Space Marine. The Hunter, the Space Rogue.
I have the power of God and anime on my side!
And the Warlock, the Space Wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'll go into more detail about the classes later on in the review. Make sure you like your character because of right now, there's no way to change it, which really sucks. Say you don't like a hairstyle or a face marking? Well, you're out of luck. I wish there was some way you can change it, or maybe you have to have some sort of token or something for the ability to change, but nope, you're stuck with this forever unless you make a new character. I don't know if this was an Activision thing, but Bungie should know they are sitting on a small gold mine to charge people to change their appearance. What I would do personally if I was Bungie would give all players one free appearance change, and after that you have to pay for the change. I find that fair enough. Anyway, you customize your character picking from 3 different races, and multiple different hairstyles, tattoos, etc. After you finish picking your class and customizing your character, you're thrown into a remake of the first mission of Destiny 1, which is really awesome. It's very nostalgic to players that have played D1, and something brand new for new players. It also explains what you're doing and why you're doing it before you start the first mission of the Red War campaign. Oh god. So in the Red War, we're pretty much thrown into a battle about something. The game never really explains what's going on, but pretty much from my understanding is that a tower is attacked by the Red Legion by a dude named Ghoul? Might as well just call him Bubba. Actually, I'm gonna call him Bubba throughout the rest of this review. Apparently, Bubba and his buddies want the Traveler's powers, but they're not on the Traveler's nice list, I guess. So they put some sort of contraption on it to try to harvest or take its power or something. Anyway, you defend the tower, then you're sent on one of Bubba's ships to blow it up. And as you're fleeing the ship, you're met with your good old friend and get Sparta kicked by him. Oh, this is Sparta to me, dude.
Yep.
God damn. When you wake up, your light power is gone because Bubba took it away or something. So your ghost can't revive you, and all your powers are gone, but you somehow survived the fall? Don't ask me because I don't know myself. The rest of the game pretty much requires you to build up an army to fight back the Red Legion and take the Traveler back. Or something. I'm saying something a lot because honestly, I have no idea what's going on throughout the campaign. I asked my friend the same thing and he also didn't have any clue what was going on either. A lot of people may be like, just read the wiki and you'll enjoy the game. No, just no. I shouldn't have to read outside source material to enjoy, let alone understand what's going on in any game or even any movie for that matter. For example, you can play through the original Halo trilogy and know what's going on and know how each and important the major scenes are. And the background lore is just there for fan service and nothing more. You're not required to read anything to understand what's going on in the original Halo trilogy, but here in Destiny it's required. It's what I call lazy, but still this part is free to play, so I can't knock the game too much. Also, if you have a couple of friends that you want to play with, you have to complete the first couple of missions alone. Why? I really don't know. It's just dumb. The campaign can pretty much be summed up like this. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm having fun doing it. Surprisingly, most everything else in the game is really damn good, but the story is so bad there isn't really any knowledge or motivation behind any of your actions. Eventually kill off Bubba's best buddy, whose name is literally Thumos, then you go on Bubba's ship and kill him. Spoiler, I guess, but not really, because you're not going to care or hell even know what's going on in the story. And that's the Red War campaign. I can see why people would be upset if they paid $60 for this, but luckily it's free, so that's a good thing. Did I like anything from the story? No, not really. The good stuff is everything but the story, which I'll discuss later when I'm done roasting the game. Well, next campaign, I guess? Curse of Osiris is the next campaign you get for free, which isn't all that much better. It was extremely easy and I got through it in about 2 hours alone. Pretty much what the story is a super all-powerful guardian named Osiris and his ghost come out of a portal thing, and Osiris sees a vision of the future, gets scared, and throws his ghost through a portal. You repair the ghost, go on some missions, and locate Osiris, and that's it. Yeah, I don't really get it, but it's pretty much save the world by changing the future cliché. It's not exciting at all, and the story is super lackluster. I will admit though that the campaign probably has the best and most unique boss fights in the entire game, but they're still incredibly easy. Something they didn't expand upon was the fact that all the alternate realities come to this future, except this one because, of course, you are here. You get to battle a small army of Vex from different timelines, but that's it. It's never expanded on or really brought up again. Well, maybe the final free campaign is good? Maybe? The last free campaign you get is Warmind, and the narrative is so weak that I had to go onto forums to help explain what was going on, because for me it went right over my head. So there's this chick named Bray, and her family created this super AI named Rasputin, and she needs to use this AI to kill a worm god. Then Zavala is trying to convince you that you don't need the weapon to kill the worm, but at the final mission, he's just like, hey, let's actually use it, yeah?
I'll never trust Rasputin, but we'll need every weapon we have to stop the soul. Even one that's powered by a warmind.
So you go ahead and kill the worm god thing without using Rasputin. I'm being serious, that's the story. It can't get any worse, right? This is just the free stuff, and the paid campaigns have to be better, right? Right? The Forsaken is the first paid DLC. It can be summed up in one word: terrible. Countless people have told me that Forsaken is where the story starts to pick up, but oh no. It is the worst campaign in the entire game. It starts out promising enough, then just kills off the best character in the entire game. If you don't know who it is, consider yourself lucky, because it's literally everywhere, even in the game itself, mentions the character's death, even if you don't have Forsaken. But anyway, this dude named Uldron kills off this character and straight up just steals his gun. The whole Vanguard is pissed, and for the first time in Destiny 2, I was actually motivated to complete this campaign. Figure out why this character had to die. A nice little revenge story. But after this, the campaign takes an enormous nosedive. We come back to Uldron, and we figure out he's from Alabama, born and raised, as he has a huge hard-on for his dead sister. He wants to get her back, I guess, so he sends out his army to nowhere really, and then the scene just kinda ends. We go to Tingle Shore and we have to talk to the spider dude, aka Jabba the Hutt, and earn his trust by doing bounties because I guess he knows where all of Uldron's henchmen are. The bounties just really slow down the momentum that the game had to just a sudden stop. Once you finish the bounties, you go back to Spider, and Spider tells you the exact location of Uldron's minions in a really bland and dull scene. At first, I thought maybe you had to find out clues onto why our important character had to die. What was the motive, you know? And blocking each clue would be a boss fight. But I was so wrong. You just kill every single boss, load up the mission, and find the boss and kill him. It's honestly brain dead. As I Hate Everything put it perfectly, it's the same exact plot as Super Mario Bros., where you kill the Kooplings, in this case Uldron's minions, and then hunt down Bowser, aka Uldron. To top it off, all the bosses pretty much feel the same, massive bullet sponges until they decide to go immune, then you have to kill off their minions or deal with their gimmick. We come back to Uldron, who found this rock thingy, which I guess is the Shard of the Traveler, that is just lying in plain sight, no protection. He shoots it and takes a piece of the rock and just leaves. Okay. You hunt down the final boss from Uldron's army, and you chase after Uldron, only to witness that Uldron, I guess, was being deceived by this weird hentai tentacle thing, and it just straight up eats him. I can't make this up. You kill off the hentai spaghetti monster, then you supposedly kill Uldron off scene. That's Forsaken. Jesus Christ. You know, the biggest thing that really gets me, the thing that really pisses me off, is what's the point of all this? I get Uldron and his buddies escape prison and you play Cowboy Roundup, but why did the one character have to die? Why did he steal his gun? What the f***? It's never explained and there's so many plot holes in the story it makes me want to bash my head in. It was a chore to get through. The only reason I recommend getting this is if you want to get the Ace of Spades, which is locked behind Forsaken. And, you know, I kinda needed this weapon for obvious reasons. Thank God the weapon is fun to use, but I'm being dead serious. Unless you absolutely need the Ace of Spades, save your money and buy something else. After playing Forsaken, Shadowkeep honestly was kind of a breath of fresh air. It is by far the best, darkest, and mysterious campaign in the entire game. It's also the first update that Bungie has released without Activision, so it gives me hope for the future. But honestly, looking back on it, Shadowkeep is kind of just an average campaign. Still the best in the game so far, but at times it's kind of lazy. Pretty much there's this pyramid ship that crashes on the moon and you're sent to go investigate it. Turns out, moon's haunted, and there's a bunch of, I guess, spirits or fallen guardians everywhere throughout the moon. As you come across the pyramid, you fight bosses from the past, and turns out you can't defeat them, and Eris Morn pulls you in, and there she kinda explains what's going on.
Eris Morn.
Holy shit, your character actually speaks in this campaign. That just kinda took me by surprise, but it's a nice touch. And before, your character just kinda looks on. Soulless. Just a mute. Not saying anything. What's going on in his head? What's wrong with him? Why does he just look? Jesus. Anyway, Eris Morn doesn't really know what this is and what it's doing here. So you have to go figure out clues and try to find a way inside. Once you do find a way inside, you battle reused bosses that you've already beaten, and the story ends off on a huge cliffhanger. Now, I know the story isn't completely over, and I understand that Bungie needs to set things up to prolong Destiny 2's life, but still, it builds up a lot, then just leaves you on a cliffhanger. Okay, now I've covered all the campaigns, now I can just talk about what I really liked about the game, and small nitpicks. Look, despite the many, and I mean many flaws in the story, I still think this game is worth picking up, mainly because it's free, but also Destiny, at its core, is a good game. So you have your main three classes, which you get to choose from at the beginning, and then there are 3 subclasses within those classes, and then within the subclasses, there are subclasses of the subclasses. Pretty much what I mean is, no 2 warlocks are going to play the same, and no 2 Dawnblades, a subclass of warlock, will play the same. It's diverse yet simple. For example, in the top tree Dawnblade, you can shoot while you're gliding through the air, then all the way over in the bottom tree of Voidwalker, you can devour your own grenades to grant you an ability called Devour, in which each kill you get, your HP fully restores. And of course, the gameplay is excellent. The guns feel great, and it's always fun using your classes and subclasses abilities to tear through enemy lines. The music. My god, the music is beautiful, powerful, emotional, and look, it's just good, okay?
Dude. Oh my god.
Salvatore did an amazing job, and I'm going to say this. Some tracks are better than some Halo tracks, just utterly outstanding. The scenery as well is breathtaking here, just the backdrops look like they can be paintings. On top of all of this, the game lasts a really long time. I myself have already put in 80 hours, and I know for a fact people have already tripled that amount. And there is still so much to do, and according to Bungie, they want to keep supporting Destiny 2 for another 5 years. Whether or not that will actually happen is debatable, but with the content we have now, there's a lot to unpack. You have your raids, your campaigns, strikes, and of course, multiplayer, which I haven't even began to talk about. A shit ton of weapons and armor to collect by doing special missions or grinding it out. Destiny 2 lasts you a long time, even if you have the free version. Honestly, kinda mixed on the multiplayer. There are some balancing issues, but supposedly Bungie is rebuilding the multiplayer from the ground up. My experience with it is the cancer from Call of Duty mixed with the fun moments from classic Halo. Game mode wise, it's kinda lacking really only 4 game modes: Free-for-all, Survival, which your team has limited lives, Crucible, which is domination from the COD series, and Gambit, which is a mix between PvE and PvP, where you and your team have to defeat enemy AI to get to a certain score before the other team beats you to it. Pretty lacking if you ask me, but we'll see what Bungie has in store for the future updates. So what do I think from an overall experience from the game? Well, all the campaigns suck, only except Shadowkeep, which was good compared to the rest. Every single boss fight feels the same: keep shooting until they go immune, kill their minions, rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. And some small nitpicks like, why can't we recustomize our character? Or why you can't put shaders on exotic weapons but on exotic armor. But at the same time, the gameplay, the music, and the scenery is what really carries this game. And it does a fine, damn good job at doing that. Considering this game is free, I definitely think it's worth investing time into, and if you like it enough, consider getting Shadowkeep. As I said before, I would personally stay away from Forsaken unless you absolutely want the Ace of Spades. And the biggest thing is, this game still has a long life ahead of it. I just have reviewed what's in the game as of right now. In the future, I may review future updates. I don't know. We'll see. Well, hopefully I helped you out, and consider subscribing for more reviews in the future. This was Spades, and until next time.